Kids are out now. Officials are urging you to slow down.
Who are the witnesses? What defenders are trying to extract from prosecution in the case of an accused teen murderer?
And it didn't have to end this way. Authorities investigate while a family grieves. Tonight we speak with the victim's father. KOMU 8 News at 6 starts now.
From Studio 8A, coverage you can count on in high definition. This is KOMU 8 News at 6.
If they'd asked John for something, he would have given it to him, and gladly. It didn't have to be done this way.
That's words of a father today about his murdered son. The investigation into the death of Jonathan Sperling moved forward in Howard County today. Good evening, I'm Angie Bailey.
And I'm Lindsay Cooper. And as investigators combed through the evidence, Sperling's father spoke out about his son's death. KOMU 8's Kylie McGivern spoke with him at the murder scene today. Kylie, what did he share with you?
Lindsay, Mr. Sperling was understandably apprehensive to talk about the murder. It was so fresh. It happened just 2 days ago. But the victim's father hopes that he can shed light on what he calls a senseless death.
Officials in Cooper County told us today they're putting an end to paper medical records there. KOMU 8's Sherman Fabes reports how one hospital says the change will serve patients better.
Cooper County Memorial Hospital has signed a $1.6 million contract to switch over from paper medical records to an electronic medical record system. After the installation of new hardware and software, the cost will be around $2.5 million.
It takes away the hunting and searching for medical records under a handwritten record. Truthfully, the handwritten records, wherever that thing happens to exist. With a computerized record, it can be accessed from any computer in the hospital.
The files behind me date back over 40 years and are in folders like these. But they will not be transferred back to the electronic medical record system. That means a mix of paper and electronic records at the hospital.
We'll have a starting point, so whatever day we happen to go live will be the starting point.
One example of the value of electronic medical records comes from Joplin.
It's just almost inconceivable where they would have been, 3 hours or 3 days after that tornado for the operations of that hospital had they not had electronic health records.
I spoke to patients and nurses at the hospital who declined to go on camera, but they all said they felt safer with the transition that the hospital was making. Sherman Fabes, KOMU 8 News, Boonville.
The hospital says the installation process will begin by the end of the year. Hospital officials say the system should be up and running by the end of next year. Thanks, Will. As MU students get ready for classes, they're realizing something different inside the dining halls. KOMU 8's Gerard Carlton tells us what campus dining is doing to save money and energy.
There's an empty space in dining halls around MU's campus that used to be filled with trays. Campus Dining Services worked with the Missouri Student Association and the Residence Halls Association to make the trayless policy permanent after a trial period during this year's Summer Welcome.
The freshmen's response from the Summer Welcome Trayless Challenge was unbelievably a success. We weren't expecting it. They were selling us on all the points. They were telling us more points than we thought of, the benefits for going trayless.
While the MSA says freshmen were generally in support of the trayless policy at residential dining halls like the one behind me, one freshman is not sold.
I definitely believe that they should have some trays in there. Even if they're, little cheap ones, a little something to help carry the food would be nice.
An MU study found going trayless will eliminate almost 65 tons of food and beverage waste each year. Hobart Dish Machines representatives say Mizzou will also save nearly 100,000 gallons of fresh water each year without having to wash trays. Gerard Carlton, KOMU 8 News, Columbia.
Campus Dining Services officials say that they will work with student organizations to spend the saved money on a wider variety of food, as well as more locally grown foods to students. A new survey of bankers suggests the Midwest economy is slowing down as concerns about the country's financial health grow. The overall rural Main Street Index dipped below 50 in August for the first time this year. Anytime it drops below the 50 mark, it suggests the economy will contract. An economist with Creighton University says even though farm income remains healthy, rural businesses aren't hiring much.
Ham was the main course.
And politics for dessert. We'll explain what had the politicos smacking their lips this morning. Also in Sedalia, some residents might sleep a little better knowing they'll have easier access to health care. The Sedalia Showcase Tour stopped at the almost finished Bothwell Healing Arts Center for an open house. Bothwell representatives say they want to recruit new physicians to the area and regularly bring potential recruits out to visit Sedalia.
For example, if they have school-age children, we take them on tours of the schools. If they have particular hobbies, we make sure that we pair them up with resources and recreational and pastime kind of opportunities within the community.
The chairman of the board says Pettis and Benton counties have older than the state average populations. He says the average age of physicians in the area is about 55 and stressed the need for young physicians. He says Bothwell hopes to recruit 12 to 15 new doctors. Stick with us, we'll be right back.
Following for the news at 10, the Parks and Rec budget meeting at the Arc starts in about 30 minutes. We'll tell you where the $2+ million new dollars are going.
And on the web, we're following the safety measures being implemented at the Stage Fair after the Sugar Lane stage tragedy in Indiana.
Shout out to the State Fair. Megan and I got to judge the First Lady's Pie Contest.
Yeah, how
it was
that?
delicious. Our job is so tough. I'll tell you more at 10. Bye-bye.
Have a good night.